enough, Carl. Now I'm gonna start streaming out to YouTube and everything else. I'm gonna really use up this bandwidth. Okay, that's going. All right, let's talk about, well, let's just give it a second to warm up and then we'll talk about the market. Let's give it a second to warm up. JAGX, APA, APEI. APEI just keeps going. Beautiful. American Public Education, APEI. Yesterday was the worst. Yeah, it really was. But, across multiple platforms. Coin is up decent this morning. A smidge. It's up 4%. All right, we should be warmed up on the stream enough. And what time is it here? Yeah, we've got 15 minutes before the market opens. Let's take a look at the cues, the market. Do you just work with Invesco? No. No. No, the QQQ is more popular than Invesco. We use the Qs because it's the Qs, not because it's Invesco. Let's see. The Qs. Yeah. So now I'm going to show you on like the 1 minute chart how once PCE came out, PCE numbers this morning came out, we moved up rapidly right here at 8:30, and then we came down, and then we went up and broke that high that was established and created an upper pivot, and now we're moving back down, and strikingly, a lot. We're almost retracing completely. It makes me think that maybe we're in a downtrend and we're establishing a downtrend because we wouldn't pull all the way back down to the bottom there. So we're either in a sideways trend and it's just back and forth chop, or in a downtrend actually off of the PCE numbers based on that pivot analysis. Yes, because it's more liquid. All right, we have like 13 minutes before the opens. We got plenty we can look at here. I wanted to look and see what is JAGX was hot yesterday or was hot today. Okay, we had 2 days of expansion going on Gigal. Yeah, this one's moving, and then Shell, and we're basically trying to uncover a good stock here. BMA, they're all having wonderful weeks. HIG, boy, that's just been going up and up and up. Financial services. However, it's a 1.25% ADR. ET, CVX, ADCT, which is on multiple lists. Yeah, ADCT was a alert yesterday. This has been coming up off the bottom. And put in an outstanding day yesterday. So that was an alert yesterday. Now it's too far gone. You have to wait for the next entry alert. But hopefully, be in a position now to be taking profits. Somebody asked about AFRM. You can take a look at it. It was hot, but I don't know now. Let's see. Well, at the moment, it's testing the bottom of this high tight flag. It's been in on a 222% move. And how much did it pull back here? 25% pullback. Yeah, that's high tight flag. It's a little tiny bit slow, but 6% ADR is outstanding. But we'd like to see it improve more, probably get over 47.75 to be a little bit more secure in an entry, or 44, get over $44 would be best. But this is, one you should be stocking, STALK. Daniel says for a day trade, we might have CRBP. Let's take a look. Yeah, that one looks beautiful. Now, why is that not on my list? Yeah, you always bring me one that's not on my list, but the question is, why is it not on my list? And sink or swim, there's just something wrong with how it scans stocks, because this is fully qualifying on my scan. It's a gap up open. What is it up? 92% pre-market. CRBP. And it's been coming up off the bottom ever since the prior earnings. And I don't know what the news is today. Let's take a look. Next gen antibody drug demonstrates encouraging safety and efficacy in patients. Okay. So that made it go up 93%. And it's probably reached its valuation now, and it's probably going to come down, Daniel. So we'll see. You want to be in on pullbacks, not on extensions. That's very dangerous. It is way up there. I mean, it's how high is it? Is just erasing the current chart. Way up there. Big move like that, there's going to get a lot of people cashing out. Liglo talk, send me a private message. Let's see, and PayPal Chewy. Why did it put Chewy there, you bastard? That is not where I typed it. All right. Yeah, Chewy, too much of a retrace. It's making a move of 25% on that first move, and then 46% on the second move, but each of them have retraced nearly 90%. So that's not that attractive, and it's not over the 200 moving average. So Chewy has a long way to go. We've got 8 minutes before the market opens. Moderna, Argen, Cell H GitLab. And we're watching an app F, by the way, this morning, and Porch, PRCH. Those are basically our two best picks. APPF for a swing trade, and PRCH also for a swing trade. Those are up good in pre-market. Moderna still's got to work through its 200 moving average. So it remains to be seen if it can actually cut through it. CFLT. Yeah, no, that's not good. Mobley. Nope. Elf. Elf, like ANF, has been on an incredible run. And as the business cycle is just starting, it could go a lot more. It could go a heck of a lot more. RCL. Now, RCL just added the icon of the seas, which can do 10,000 passengers per voyage. So that allows them to make an enormous new amount of revenue per day, uh, in addition to everything they made. It cost them 2 billion to make, but that's now behind them, and now they're operating Icon of the Seas, 3 times bigger than the Titanic, and can hold 10,000 people. And so moving forward, I like RCL. None of the other fleets are doing that much expansion. What's that? And I think that Wall Street likes RCL as well because it's up 320% in a year. We got earnings coming up in just a couple days on it. Let's see what happens. I'd be very curious to see what they say and about anything they could say about the Icon of the Seas and how it's performing. I think that looks good. You got to watch out for those cruise ships. Gigantic disasters waiting to happen in some sense. But knock on wood, everything goes smoothly. Best wishes to RCL on the launch of Icon of the Seas. RCL, yeah, coming in a few days. We've got 3 minutes and 55 seconds till the market opens. AMD, what is your recommendation about brokerage for U.S. residents? Isaac, send me a private message because it depends on what you want to do. There's several to choose from. There's several recommendations to choose from. Send me a private message. You wanted to look at AMD. Let's see, quick look at AMD. Shows what? Yeah, it shows it's going through the roof, really. AMD's having a great run right now. You wouldn't want to be in it. You'd want to be taking profits. I've been taking just short, couple week swing trades on it. ASML is about to break out. Okay, we like ASML. Let's see. It's already broken out. Oh, wait, I must be looking at. Well, let me double check. ASML. Well, anyway, it's already broken out. Beautiful cup and handle at 762. And now it's at 880. So that's unfortunately that's 4-day old news. So forget that one. All right, market's going to open in a minute here. Let's get up the market and keep an eye on it. And we'll see what's hot right after the open, after the first minute. But remember, we're watching Porch, PRCH for entry, and AppF. AppF is so thin that I don't really have a whole lot of hopes for it, but Porch could do something. as a swing trade. It's Friday, so you can't expect the levels of volume you get on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wednesday being the greatest. Nvidia. I love how people call it Nvidia. I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly, but I call it Nvidia. I've always called it Nvidia, and I feel like I fucking pronounce it correctly. But I hear so many people pronounce that so many different ways that I don't know. I don't know what's the right way. But to me, it's Nvidia, not Nvidia, Nvidia, but Nvidia. Anyway, besides the point, yeah, Nvidia is great, and we'll look at that chart maybe in a couple of minutes here. We got to prepare for the open. We got 60 seconds to the open. In 60 seconds, I can take a look at Nvidia on my other computer here. Yeah, Nvidia's on an insane run. You'd be taking profits and waiting for a pullback for another renewed entry. And when that happens, I'll be probably getting a put credit spread. All right, 27 seconds to the open. Make sure you guys follow, and so this happens every morning, so you can be with me every morning now. Keep on top of the stock market, and then also in my bio, there's a link it's a link tree with tons of great resources for you. Check out the link tree. Check out my link tree in the bio. There we go. Market is open. All right, everything's updating. And NEO up 2.2% out of the gate. AXP, they had their earnings this morning. Yeah, we gave some lotto alerts on AXP yesterday. And what's the one? AMD, Intel. We should be watching Intel at least for our puts. But Intel actually is coming up this morning, which is a little counter. But I am up 205% on our Intel Lotto, but that's going to change pretty quickly here because I believe it's the 45. Yeah, and we're at 45. So it's basically worthless right now unless it can get below 45, which I think it's going to do. I think everyone's going to panic. They might give it some minutes and it might actually be saved, but we'll see. There goes PRCH. I think this is a great opportunity on PRCH for a swing. There's options on it, but I don't think, they're not liquid. Okay, I'm in PRCH. I don't know if it's halting. It might be halting. But I like it as a swing trade. It's not necessarily a day trade. Okay, now our puts are up 381% on Intel. So whoever got the Intel puts, 380%. I know Tony did last night, and I sure as hell did. PRCH now hitting 289. Intel, 335% gains. And I'm going to just let that stock be under pressure. It's a lot of red, and we're going to go with gap theory thesis on that. Like I said, it could be up between 500 and 800% by the end of the day if it bleeds out. It's not bleeding out, though, necessarily right now. So this may be what we get, just 400% gains, unfortunately. Aw. Yes, Nvidia's, going strong, going great, looks good. AXP, I'll take a quick look at, yeah. It did well, it's doing great. It's running off of the open. which is surprising actually. So this is some a pretty strong sentiment. You might want to hop on that. It's a very slow stock though, but perhaps for a day trade with options. AXP long for a day trade. Swing trade, possibly as well. All right, today's Friday. I got to take a look and see if there's anything I need to cut on my options. The market's sideways off the open. A lot of good stuff happening here on Expiration Friday. I mean, this kind of sideways GDP PCE Thursday, Friday has really assisted the theta in my port. Turning a lot of things into favorable decision points. Yeah, see now Intel's back to 45 probably. I'm not looking at it, but I can tell by the pricing change there. 44.60. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to allow it to be under pressure all day on Intel. I'm not looking to make money on, you know, on it going against my thesis. The lottery ticket on that was for thesis. And so far right now, it has the looks like it can perform on thesis. And if it doesn't, it's going to get back to worthless anyway. So you might as well just allow it to play out as a lottery ticket. But, if you had like, a dozen options on it, you had like a couple $100, you would have been up, 400% at a moment there. And you might take one off or two off. But in general, it's a good idea to just let Intel be under pressure right now. CRISPR, oh no, CRBP. Yeah, we were looking at that earlier. Let's see. Yeah, CRBP is running crazy. So green. That was that one that Daniel was looking at. CRBP. Off of the open, you'd have that 1 minute opening range breakout. So if you're day trading, we already mentioned those picks. And then you got to day trade it. And the market zigzagging and going sideways. We're 6 minutes off of the open. Dwack going sideways. The momentum to the downside on DWAC on the downside on this pullback has slowed down. And I'm sitting at 82% max profit on DWAC in a very short amount of time. Let's see if today I can get a sale on 15% of my position on DWAC. I'll just put it out there and we'll see what happens. It's probably going to fill later today. Could happen any time. It's out there. It's out there for the taking. XBI Biotech Index going sideways. Okay. If anybody has anything for me to look at, just let me know. I'm just flipping through my stuff. Okay, so Mara is an entry. That's a pullback entry. Now, you had one also on January 4. It went for a couple days and then it didn't work out. But a signal's a signal, and this one's good. It's above Gamma. The one in January actually wasn't above Gamma. This one is. So maybe it's ripe and ready. That's Mara. Earnings on Mara are a long ways off, not till kind of like the end of March, almost April. So you have a lot of runway to open up a PCS, a March 15 PCS. And that's what I'm going to look into right now. Mara, March 15 PCS would be the move. Get in there. And the 20-ish delta is 14. And that is perfect. That's a perfect level. So I'd sell the 14.13 if we have elevated levels on the options. Let's see. Current IV percentile is 22%. It's not super favorable, but let me see what the ROC would be. It certainly is liquid. You got no question about liquidity. Okay. So you would make 29 bucks on $71 of capital. So that is $41 return on a 20 delta. That's really good. It's really, really good. Yeah, I would recommend. And by the way, this is only educational purposes. I'm talking about getting myself the March 15, 14.13 put credit spread on Mara. CLSK, yeah, CLSK is at the top of my list right now this morning, and I looked at it. Yeah, that's an entry too. CleanSpark, yeah, that's a good entry right there. I believe it's above Gamma, yeah. In fact, yesterday could have potentially been an entry, but today is a lot more perfect and obvious. Nah, the only problem is it's got earnings in a couple of days, in like a week, 2 weeks, or a week. So you can't really go PCS on it, but you could get you could go long shares. It's just I think that there's an uncertainty event too close and nearby. So it ruins its potential for performance. But you could argue thesis-wise that maybe there'll be an earnings run-up. But I mean, maybe. So usually people, get a little bit careful right before earnings. So, but I do like Mara right now for an entry. And so I'm going to look to liquidate some stuff to get into Mara. March 15 put credit spread. Right now I have the February 15, and maybe I'm at 21 DTE. Let me see. I am. So I'll just roll this out. I can just roll what I have out. Out and down. I'm gonna have to take a look at that a little bit more. Look at like all my other holdings to try to figure out where I can pull that from. So I'm just gonna keep flipping through here, and I'll do that in about 10 or 20 minutes. Pinterest, says Carl. Okay, we'll take a look at it. AMD has earnings in like 2 days, I think. Let's see, AMD. AMD, where are you? Yeah, 2 days over here. Tuesday after hours is earnings on AMD. The market's still pretty much going sideways. I think that might be what it does for the day. It might make some kind of a move towards the end of the day. Well, I just switched over to Meta. The other one was Mara. It's a Bitcoin, it's a mining company. But this one's Meta. You know Meta. It's Facebook. Netflix killed it, and I did good. Oh, yeah. How's Netflix coming along 3 days now after earnings? Yeah, it's holding strong. See, this is what I'm talking about, Kim, and various members of our group. This is what I'm talking about. It's like on a strong earnings like that, I know it was risky for me to take a strike that was the bottom of where it opened on Netflix, but not always, but it's, frequently, the majority of the time, probably around 65% of the time, maybe 70% of the time, on something strong like that, gap open and it runs green, uh, it never looks back to the low. And it may move around and come back down, but it often can just ends up staying above that low of the gap up ER day. And so that option right now, doing great, looking good. And all I would really need is like one strong up day because I'm already at 30% max profit in 3 days on a 50-day to expiration option spread. In 3 days, I should be profit. I'm at 30%. So that's called accelerated gains. Accelerated gains. And that's one of our criteria for exiting. It could be wise to exit at 30% gains in 3 days. But I'm feeling okay about Netflix and letting it gestate a little bit longer. All it needs is one Zoom day, one just boop, one, and that max profit could go over 50%. And that'll be an easy close. That's why one of our rules is if we hit 50%, you close it. Yeah, CRBP, Acon, also crazy. Vera, AppF. All right. Our Intel option is almost at 500% gains now. I'm guessing it's at 43 or something. Let's see, go take a look. Yeah, Vera's going crazy. Intel, our Intel lottery puts. Yeah, 43.50. See, it continues to be under pressure and it's about to break um, pre-market lows, which is 43.15. And when that happens, that creates more pressure, more downward pressure. Who's in the Intel Lotto puts? I'm got 496% gains on that. I'll copy and paste and show you guys. All right, Marcus has got that. Is that what you're showing too? Did you get the same ones that I got? There we go, 520% gains, even more now. Like I said, it's probably going to hit between 500 and 800% gains. We talked about it last night, remember? Hello, so 500 and 20% gains on our lotto puts on Intel. That'll make you wish you did a lot more, like a bigger position size, but you can't really. It's lotto. You have to be willing to completely lose what you risk because it's like a 95% chance to lose. But when they hit really good. I remember nailing a Facebook lotto like that with a pretty big position 2 or 3 years ago, and it hit perfectly. 2,800% gains right out of the gate. Fundamentals on DWAC? I mean, really? There's really not enough business to report to really even have a fundamental opinion about DWAC. I mean, what I'm showing here is it's got almost no revenue reported. It says zero, and it's losing about uh, it's currently losing about $4 million a month. Not that much. I mean, it could be sustained for a long time. It's a very popular, that could be sustained for 5, 10 years with venture capital. It's not going anywhere. It's a lean, mean fighting machine. And then, once they can figure out how to monetize it well, they'll have some revenue. Until then, they're just, I guess, building. It has potential. Yep. It's all about the Donald. Everybody loved Donald until they realized they were hypocrites. And then they're like, you know what? I'm a hypocrite. No, they didn't say that. They said, you know what? I don't like the guy. Why? Not for the reasons they loved him, but because he doesn't like the things they like. We call that a fascist. Bahamas trip coming. All right. It's Mark. Oh, okay, cool. Text you. Yeah. And I was just thinking about you yesterday. Literally, don't sleep on connecting with me on that. And I won't also. And let's make sure we get something going. Absolutamente. Dwack is having a good day. Let me see. Where are my options on that? I didn't get the fill, so all right, 73% max gains. But I do have an option sitting out there for sale on it. It wants to try and get in between my strikes more to appreciate. If it could just get, kind of like settle in a little bit more, yeah, it'll happen. All right, any further questions? I think we're going to call it here. Very interesting. Intel up. Intel lotteries puts up 481% at the moment. And I'm just going to continue to let that be under pressure all day. That's, my kind of strategy on that one. 25 years of experience tells me to do that. Artificial pump on what? What were we talking about? Dwack? It's not an artificial pump. It's a prospect of profits in the future. Everything is like that. You'll learn that over time. Everything's value, every valuation is based on future potential. The only time, on rare occasions that you don't see that, it's like a GME situation where you have literally just a gaming of the system. But and Dwack, is not doing that though. That's not what it's moving Dwack, and it's not manipulation either. It's potential. So most of the time, that's the way it goes. Yes, and there could be some shorts in there for sure. Everybody wants to have a thesis on something crazy, but it's high speculation. Young companies equal high speculation, and your variance, if that's all you do, will kill you. So you can maybe take a small part of your pyramid of risk, the top, the riskiest part, the smallest part, and put a little allocation into something like that. But in general, you don't use the mass of your wealth to do high speculation. Cool. All right, Carl. Everybody, have a great weekend. Yes, and stay warm out there. I'll probably be snorkeling. All right. Peace, everybody. Chess, sure, Carl. Let's go. Enjoy.